I guess I'm live here. This is Thunder Live. Uh, Second time I've done this. I'm gonna talk today about. I think I named this deep state two-pronged attack. I'll talk about other things though as people come in here, if anybody does come in. Um, I'm looking at the chat here. Not seeing anybody. If anybody does come on, you can tell me how my sound is or whatever. Oh, yeah, love to you too, out there. Always can use a lot of love. All right, well, some serious shit's going on right now with the deep state. Uh, what they've done is a two-pronged attack, and what's happening is, first of all, they did this false flag thing in Syria, in Duma, or however you pronounce it. I think that was yesterday. And the Russians, Putin knew this was coming because he said, "Oh yeah, they're shipping chemicals to such and such an area, and they're going to have a false flag attack there, and they're going to blame it on Assad." So that's what they did. It happened about a week after he said that, or a week and a half. But it was clearly evident, and it was clearly it was so expected. Let's put it that way. Everybody in the know knew it was going to happen sooner or later. They keep using the same routine over and over and over again. Oh yeah, we're going to blame a chemical weapons attack on Assad, and we're going to move in somehow and strike him, and blah 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 blah. And this was right after Trump said he was going to pull out of Syria. So look at the timing. The timing is evident, okay, that they wanted to do something to keep the troops, to keep Trump supposedly from pulling out of Syria and getting the hell out of there and letting go of that whole situation. And so they planned this phony chemical attack, supposedly by Assad, against his own people. Why the fuck would he do something like that? He's won the war with Russia's help. He's eliminated ISIS. He's eliminated all the so-called quote-unquote terrorists, which were actually supported and created by the CIA. So why would he attack his own people and gas his own people? They're all happy now. They're moving back in from other countries. No, this was done by a third party. This was done by the deep state in collusion with some sort of group over there, so that they could yet again, did they think people are that stupid? Really? They could blame it on Assad again, and now, as I speak, it's before the UN Security Council, and America has asked for certain things, and yeah, it did happen last year. I'm reading some of the comments here. This same shit happened last year, and I think even before then it happened. In the first place, the people that monitor chemicals have already said that Syria doesn't have chemical weapons. Okay, but they just ignore that. It's this whole thing is for really stupid people, basically. People that are just everyday Joes out there in the working world. Oh, Assad's such a bad guy. Anyway, that was one prong, and then the other prong of the two-pronged attack was the deep state raiding Trump's lawyer's office almost at the same time, okay? So if Trump was trying to fight the deep state, wouldn't he have his hands full? He's trying to make a decision about Syria, and he's trying to fight the deep state, and he's trying to pull out of Syria. But then on the other hand, Mueller, okay, the idiot Mueller, he reminds me of what's that guy? Remember the Munsters? Remember the Frankenstein on the Munsters? You couldn't make this shit up. Anyway, he's obviously not really looking for Russian collusion. Now, here's the deal. If Trump does not fire his ass, I mean, like right now, well, then I'm going to seriously think there's something wrong with Trump, because who cares what the deep state, or who cares what the Dems, or who cares what the libtards think about whether he fires Mueller or not. At this point, it's like all options should be on the table. I wonder about Trump sometimes, you know, I really do, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of like patriots out there, so-called. And there's a lot of people that watch different people like Tracy Beans and the Potter Expositor and some of these other channels. And then there are high hopes here that something's going to happen as far as Trump arresting the bad guys. And the bad guys, that would be people like Hillary Clinton and Podesta and Susan Rice and the whole slew of people that are in bed with or are part of the quote-unquote deep state. When is this shit going to happen? You keep hearing about indictments and you keep hearing about QAnon and yeah, there's hope, people, and it's coming. It's just around the corner. And yet when an incident like this arises, you look for some kind of action. Because Trump has threatened to fire Mueller before, okay? And he has not done this, and he is not... I don't know. I don't know what to think. You know, I was talking to my girlfriend last night about this, and she's very hip too. And I'm like, some people think that Trump is this great strategist. Well, a great strategist would be somebody like Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War, which I've read many times. And I consider myself somewhat of a strategist. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at Trump, and I'm thinking, okay, so some people think that because he wrote the book The Art of the Deal, all right, that he's some kind of great businessman strategist. And obviously he must have his shit together on some level, because he's made a ton of money and in real estate and so forth. So people are thinking, well, this is just some big strategy, okay, that he has, where he's actually duping the deep state, and he's making them think that he's on their side. And I'm like, you know what? He surrounded himself with all deep state people. He surrounded himself with warmongers. He surrounded himself with people like General Mattis and all these Marine generals and McMasters and all these people that are military industrial complex jerks, war hawks. And now he's got this guy Bolton, who is just like the worst person that you could ever want to have if you were trying to make peace around the world, or let's say trying to make peace with Russia so we don't have a nuclear attack here or a nuclear confrontation. So I'm scratching my head, and like I told my girlfriend Natalie, I said, well, what do you think he's doing here? Because I don't think that he's making any progress here. And if he's surrounding himself with all these war hawks, is it because there's an old saying, okay, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer, so you'll know what they're doing and you can somehow combat it. So maybe that's a strategy that he would be using here, although I don't think it's working. And the reason that I don't think it's working is because it seems to be going on and on and on and on. And all these patriots and all the people that elected Trump are waiting for some kind of action. Yeah, I'm seeing the comments for Russia suddenly put troops on full alert. Thank you. Yes, they're on high alert. There's a national, a nationwide high alert, military high alert in Russia. Okay, right now, if that tells you anything, that tells you how close we are. Okay, to actually go into war here. Do we want this? Do we want World War III and nukes flying around and all that shit? So I don't know. I'm thinking there's a lot of people out there that keep hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping that Trump will do this and Trump will do that and that Hillary will be arrested. He even said Hillary was going to be arrested in his run up to the elections during the debates. I think he even said it to her. And it's like, really? When? When are we going to start seeing some kind of arrests? When are we going to start seeing some kind of movement that indicates that there's going to be some kind of relief? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see that. But this would be the time, I would think, okay, that after Trump's personal lawyer, okay, offices got raided by Mueller, that would, you would think that okay, would cause some kind of action, break the thing wide open. Okay, I think that what he should do is he should not only fire Mueller, but possibly bring him up on charges of obstruction of justice, because he's supposed to be investigating the Russia collusion thing, and he's getting off on in all these other areas with Stormy Daniels and oh, isn't she a piece of work, Stormy Daniels? Boy, nothing new under the sun. I think every president from even Eisenhower had his mistresses and whatever. So is that anything new? No, not really. It's nothing even we should be talking about, considering the circumstances in the world today. But if there was going to be a time, okay, if there was going to be a time when Trump was going to do something as far as firing Mueller, it would be now, wouldn't it? Shouldn't it? And Jeff Sessions too, because he's an idiot. I mean, anybody that says comes out and says marijuana is as bad as heroin, really? Really? What's he been drinking? Because you know he hasn't been smoking. Marijuana is as bad. No, marijuana is probably the greatest gift, God's gift to earth in herbal form. And so this mental midget's out there talking about, yeah, we need a war against legalization of pot. This is the same guy, okay, that he's hired as Attorney General. What is that Arsenio Hall used to do? Makes you want to go, what is he thinking? And why is he surrounding himself with all these freaking idiots? Does that mean that Trump's an idiot too? I mean, well, let's compare things here. Let's look at this. Let's do a little comparison test here. And that's right, marijuana is a medicine, and we should be treating it as such. Thank you, Eric. Let's do a comparison test here with Putin, okay, and Trump. All right. Now, Putin, I've watched this guy sit before a wide audience of maybe 1,000 people or at least 500 people several times uh, in different forums like the Vladivostok forum or some of the other forums with maybe a panel. And but he sat alone and fielded questions, okay, from all kinds of countries and all kinds of press people and all kinds of people that are for him and against him and all this, just shooting question after question after question. And he sat there for 3 hours and answered every one of them in a lucid manner, okay, without making any mistakes, using some humor, having a firm grasp on all the statistics surrounding his country in the way of financial, the financial situation, what the gross national GDP is, what they're doing for people, the children. He covers every, but when it gets right down to them asking him questions about what he thinks of America or what he thinks of the hegemony that is being projected by America and the bloodlust, so to speak, for other countries and controlling other countries and just causing havoc around the world in the name of democracy. Well, he's very straightforward about that stuff, and he calls it like it is. It is hegemonic. It is greed. It is perverted. He is ready. Came out recently and talked about all these subsonic weapons that he has, and he does have them. Believe me. And what he would do if any encroachment is ever attempted, okay, on his people. Now, there's a fucking leader, okay? Trump, he what does he do? I've watched these White House videos. Oh, he's at this supper and he's at that supper and he's talking about the football people, and he's doing this dinner and that dinner, and it's all photo op bullshit, one-liners. He might make a short speech off a teleprompter. So that's the comparison test here. And basically what I think the reason that Putin hasn't come in and just totally annihilated us, okay, is because number one, he doesn't want the use of nukes around the world. He knows how dangerous they are. He knows how it could end living as we know it. That's number one. And then sometimes I ask myself, well, why hasn't he gotten in the face at least and pushed a little harder on this whole deep state situation? What's going on with that? Why hasn't he been a little bit more aggressive? Why is it that he seems to turn the other cheek a lot, okay, and try to make things peaceful? Well, this is the way I see it. Look at America. Look at what's going on. Look at how other countries might view America right now. They got to think we're just totally off the freaking deep end. They got to think that, man, those people are really unstable. They're really warmongers. They're look at the country. Look at all the turmoil. The left against the right, the gun control issues, and all this stuff, and Antifa, and all these movements, and just the complete division, okay, in this country. And they got to look at what the mainstream media is trying to do to Trump, and they got to look at some of the things that are said, and they got to just be shaking their heads and going, man, those those people in America are real morons. Now, are all people in America morons? No, they're not. There's a lot of good people here. But the way that the world's looking at us, and the way we bully people around and try to push people around, and do we have the firepower to back that up? Do you think? We don't. Okay. Yes, we've been known as the nation's, the world's superpower, one of the superpowers, probably the main one. But that's all a bluff now. That's all just a big bluff off of past accomplishments in the military arena. Because I'm telling you right now, and I'm a pilot, and I'm into aviation, and I'm into avionics, and I'm into all this stuff that is about warfare, and they're way ahead of us. Just their jets are can fly circles around our newest jet. Okay, which is the what is it? The F-35, or it's such a turkey. Okay, it can't even get out of its own way, and you got aircraft in Russia like the Su-24 that can fly upside down and backwards, and can even slide backwards and shoot subsonic, stratosonic. What's the word I'm looking for here? Supersonic and super subsonic, and all these different missiles, okay, and missile systems and missile defense systems, and jamming systems. They got jamming systems that are incredible, okay. They've got stealth systems. They have been working hard while America's been sitting around on its ass, thinking that it's the superpower of the world, and they're not, believe me. Even China and some other countries. So when is somebody going to call the bluff, okay, of America and say, you know, wait a minute here, we're going to put your ass in place where it belongs, okay? And that's what should happen, because anytime anybody gets into a situation where they're so prideful, okay, and they're so arrogant and haughty, okay, you want to see their ass fall, okay? You want to see them get some kind of comeuppance. And I wouldn't mind seeing that at all in this country. Put it in its place. Let's get things back in order here where it belongs. Now, do I want to see nuclear devastation? Well, fuck no. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the world turn into a cinder, but I do want to see. I want to see America backed down. Okay, because ever since my people came here, the indigenous people of this land, or were here, I should say, and Mayflower came here with that rat-infested mess. Okay, nothing's been right in this country. And so would I care if anything happened to America, because it's not my country? My country's Turtle Island, okay? The original country, the original land here. Would I care? No, I wouldn't care. Sometimes I even think, even if I didn't make it through, or even if somehow I didn't survive, it would be the best thing that ever happened to this country, this planet. Just for the simple reason that how long can you go on keeping people in some kind of oppressive mode? Okay, because is that living? No, that's not living. That's surviving. That's not enjoying life. Do most Americans enjoy life? I don't think so. I think they're on a treadmill. I think they go to work every day. I think they do anything they can to support themselves under the oppression that we have. So now, America's due, okay, and some people might say, well, divine intervention is what's needed. Jesus Christ and his legion of angels will come down on a cloud and kick some ass here. Um, if that's what could happen, if that's what they want to believe could happen, I'm all for it. Come on down, JC. Take care of business here, and let's clean this mess up. Or could it be that everybody's consciousness is somehow transformed into enlightenment? Okay, and everybody looks around and goes, "Ooh, like what's going on here, brother? We got to change this shit." That would be cool too. Okay, I'm all for it. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on give my opinion on what's going on now. This two-pronged. We can expect anything. They're in the United Nations now. I mean, United Nations is useless. Has no teeth. Is just a facade. Uh, just like the League of Nations, the United Nations is a joke. Okay, never accomplished anything. Basically, according to the Bible, it's Babylon the Great. So. Um, Yeah, they're discussing shit now, and that Nikki Haley, that talking head bitch that is supposedly the head of the Security Council or whatever, she's crazy, and she keeps sticking her finger in the eye of Russia. How long do you think they're going to take this shit? Really? Be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see, and I can't wait to see all the jibber jabber about the Q people and the patriots and the Christian patriots and all these people that are like every day I see them on some of these channels. I see the comments. It's like, my God, what are we going to do? When is this going to end? When is there going to be some justice? When are there going to be an arrest? Asking these people. Like Roy Potter and Tracy Beans and who else? Maybe Jake Morphonios on Blackstone Intelligence, and he's pretty good. If for nothing else, he has a good history background. He knows his history excellent, very well. But these people are going to be sitting around after this, and I can't wait to see the conversations. I mean, it's entertaining. It's very entertaining. So this is my second live thing here, and I can see that I'm just getting a shitload of people on chat. You know, sometimes I have like what 1,200 and something subscribers, and I'm sometimes I scratch my head and I'm going, am I saying shit they don't want people to hear? Because I should have more comments, okay, and likes and views than I do. So maybe you can pass this, maybe you can let people know that if they want to talk to me, ask me questions. And there's a lot of people that, while I'm on here, there's a lot of people that have wanted to ask me about Hopi prophecy. Because, see, I don't do just world events, I do a lot of spiritual stuff too. So a lot of people have wanted to ask me about Hopi prophecy and about the white brother, the Bahana, the great white brother who is to return. And they've asked me about some of the prophecies. And if they were on here, if they asked me a specific question about it, then I could answer it. But a lot of those people that were on here before on my first live stream aren't here now. So I guess I should let people know ahead of time. That might be a good thing. But I can recommend a book. I think it's by Frank Waters, The Book of the Hopi. That's probably the best book for learning about the Hopi and learning about some of the prophecies and learning about some of their history. that you could read. Okay, there's a couple of books, but I think Frank Waters, I think that's the name of the author, is probably the best. And it's called The Book of the Hopi. And he actually lived with them and talked to their medicine men and talked to their shaman and talked about some of the interviews that were done with some of the early elders, and talks about Prophecy Rock. And a lot of that stuff is very controversial because you have the old Hopi and the new Hopi, which break down into the traditionalists who want to keep the old ways, and then you have the new Hopi, which are the what do you call them? The progressives. Okay, I guess you call them. And so you're going to always get kind of conflicting stories because the progressives are controlled more by the feds and the tribal chairmen and stuff like that. Corruption. So anyway, I'll be doing more live streams, and I will be answering questions at that time, maybe. I don't know how you post in advance unless you do a video and tell them you're doing a live stream. Maybe I'm just going to have to do that, just a short video. I don't know when I'll do the next live stream. See, I'm a kind of a spur of the moment guy. I do it when I feel it. Who knows? But anyway, keep the faith. Keep watching when I make a video. I appreciate that. And it's always good to share these videos, and it's always good to give me a thumbs up on the like thing. I guess that helps somehow. I'm not as into the mechanics of this shit as I should be. I'm not as into. Oh, let me mention one other thing too. I have a website. It's called RogerThunderhands.com. www.rogerthunderhands.com, and it's got my books on there. It's got several sites. I will be uploading all my latest videos on there. I don't know if I'm going to keep a cache of videos, but I just might feature my latest one on there. And it's got a page for my art, which I'm going to start selling. And then it's got another page for my books and CDs. And just check it out. Tell me what you think. I'm still kind of working on it. So check it out and leave your comments or whatever. All right, I'm going to end this stream now. I've been doing this long enough, 32 minutes. That's about right. So I'm out of here. Adios to you all who are watching, and hope to see you next time.